Welcome to Volstars, a GammaStrike production.
Welcome to Volstars, where we talk everything markets and those who make them. Today's episode brought to you by the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation. Are you worried about your oil tanker going up in flames in the Strait of Hormuz because of completely unavoidable macroeconomic circumstances? Are you beholden to pencil-pushing actuaries and your basic survival instinct? Are you more than 1/16th panicking? Get your viscous sweet fluids flowing again with the U.S. International DFC Petroleum Endowment for National Infrastructure Security. At Penis, we believe that everything is probably fine, even though we don't have a plan, and are confident that throwing money at the problem will fix our mess. Don't miss out on the skyrocketing price of oil before the U.S. Treasury resorts to shorting oil futures. Get peace of mind. Capitalize on chaos. Get Penis. Penis funds only cover the insured for price of oil in case of loss of prices pegged to February 1st, 2026. Penis does not cover equipment damage, dismemberment, or loss of life. Penis also does not cover losses to assets or properties as a result of avoidable events, up to and including trying to cross the Strait of Hormuz during active war. And finally, by GammaStrike.com, providing actionable real-time data for every type of trader. You've tried the rest, now try the best. GammaStrike.com. I'm Jay Fresh, and I'm joined by our co-hosts, Gherkin and Dork. Let's get into the market overview.
Great intro,
guys,
Jay Fresh.
We got a lot to talk about this week. I know.
That was so funny.
How could you do that to us?
How edgy.
It was the best one yet.
Whoa. Setting a high bar for yourself in post-recording there.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. Okay. So first thing that comes up on the docket, we got to talk about Middle East oil. I mean, how much is oil up now in basically a week? 60%? 50%-ish?
About 40%.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep. And this is the largest gain in oil, I think, since Desert Storm.
Yeah, it's a huge jump.
And I saw something today. This is hot off of the X.com, the everything app, rumor mill, that Scott Bessent is considering actually just shorting oil.
Well, like the White House getting involved in trading futures. Is that what you're saying?
Like
literally shorting oil?
Oil's futures, yeah.
What
That's
the
healthy.
hell? MOAS?
Which seems like an insane thing to even consider doing as a United States Treasury. Like, that's just straight up market manipulation. But everybody's very concerned about oil. Girk, why might they be so concerned about the price of oil?
Oh, well, because the price of oil is reflected in the price of just about everything. I mean, every good and non-durable or durable alike, every service, the price of oil is baked into all of them. It is key to the facilitation of all business on the planet in every corner of the globe. And there are countries that have very little access to oil, where inflation can hit very, very hard, like Japan, with minimal natural resources, or England. And the price of oil imports for them is extremely important. Obviously, the U.S. produces a fair amount of oil, but even in that instance, this is obviously not good for the U.S. We're already facing some inflationary pressures from the AI build out, and so this is going to act as an accelerant to those inflationary pressures that we're feeling already. And this is this is going to drastically impact inflation probably over the next several months. And we won't see it right away in reports, but once we start seeing it, it is going to be brutal.
Will it be transitory?
No, well, yes, of course, always. Given enough time, but we don't yet know. We have no ceasefire agreement with Iran. We have really no idea where this conflict / maybe a war is headed. But if this turns into boots on the ground, there's going to be continued risk to the Strait of Hormuz, which we talked about in last week's episode pretty extensively, and how just drastically important that key shipping route for 30% of the world's oil is. And it's important not just for the US and for our economy, but it's important for China. It's important for Southeast Asia. This is going to have inflationary impacts across the board. And that's going to create problems in credit markets. It's already creating substantial problems in bond markets where a lot of bond funds were already really buying up supply and trying to allocate to short-term cash because of the fear with the AI build out and all the money that this is costing to build these data centers, and the inflationary effects of trying to build so many data centers simultaneously, just vis-a-vis supply and demand. And now we have a war. Not a small war either. And I think a lot of people think of Iran as being something like Afghanistan or even Iraq, and it's not. Iran is the major power of the Middle East region. They don't have an economy because they spend all their fucking oil money on weapons. So Iran's getting to find out why we don't have free healthcare, and we're finding out why they don't have a functioning economy. And they've got a lot of fucking drones and missiles, and they have borders with allied countries like Pakistan and China, where they have a continual supply chain of weaponry. And even though we've taken out the leadership, the entire country has been built around, like, their entire government for the last 30 years since they overthrew the Shah and the Ayatollah took over, or well, I guess 50 years now almost, has been waiting for this moment. So the IRGC, which is the Iranian military, essentially, they have been prepping to function as a discontinuous entity for the better part of 50 years. Their whole leadership was trained by the CIA at one point. So it's not like these guys don't know what they're doing. And they've been fighting a counterintelligence war with Mossad since the formation of Israel. And this is a big deal. This is a vast country with vast oil resources that is structurally tied into BRICS at every level. And their oil exports are extremely important for China and Southeast Asia. China is not going to like a protracted conflict in this region. And this is going to just continue to drive oil prices up until we have some semblance of an idea where this conflict is headed. Was the purpose take out the leadership, install a new regime? If it is, who's going to fill that power vacuum? And Iran's intentionally not announcing a leader because they don't want Israel or the U.S. to push forward and trying to assassinate the new named leader. And so basically you have a fractured army that is functioning with no leadership in a
the whole thing is just, the plan is basically just launch missiles everywhere. So
yeah, well, what they're trying to do by doing that, this is really actually interesting, is you're like, oh, why is Iran, everyone's probably asking, why is Iran launching missiles at their countrymen, their fellow,
like Qatar and stuff,
yeah, like Qatar and Saudi Arabia and UAE. And what they're doing is they're saying, we're going to keep launching fucking missiles at you until you get the US off of your bases. Get the US out of your country and we'll stop launching missiles at you. And this is a very important tactic. And Iran thought about this a long time ago. And this is designed in an effort to destabilize the operational theater of the United States. Because right now we have land bases in these countries that we can use. But if those countries say, get the fuck out, then we have to move to a naval only, or we have to invade Iran directly. And that's what Iran wants. They want us to get embroiled in a ground war with them. Meanwhile, you have Iranian hackers going and clearing out people's mortgages and credit card debt on the US side, trying to destabilize our banks. They have a massive cybersecurity, or I guess black hat, government-backed black hat group. Especially after, like Stuxnet and all of that. They've spent a huge amount of money on cyber warfare. This can really turn into something very bad. And then you probably have, terrorist sleeper cells in the US that's going to create disruption here. And so this could go on for a very long time. It's got no central leadership. And we really don't have any indication from either our leadership or theirs where this is headed.
Well, speaking of leadership on our end, I wanted to bring in the U.S. Energy Secretary said just earlier today, and I quote, "We're not too long, I think, before you will see more regular resumption of ship traffic through the Strait of Hormuz."
Yeah, who's going to risk their ships?
The U.S.
Oh, they're going to insure the ships.
So far, I think the only trafficking ships are Iranian based in the Strait. Everyone else is at a standstill. And while they sit at a standstill, their insurance rates continue to rise. The cost of insuring the goods aboard those ships and those tankers is just skyrocketing. And the U.S. is trying to say, we'll come in and we'll pay for that. We'll pay it down. But we don't have, Trump's going to create some government insurance agency in order to manage this, but we don't have any semblance of a plan. There is no organization. There is no congressional approval for that organization. None of that. So Trump's
would this be Obamacare for oil?
Yeah, it's Obamacare. And then what are they insuring? Are they just insuring the oil? Are they insuring the tanker? Are they insuring the crew? There's a lot of questions raised and none of them answered. So It was kind of just like a hot air statement, and it doesn't really impact anything. Nothing is going to change because Trump's made some promise that's not been followed through.
Well, he's just responding to headlines is all he's really doing.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. That's
so it's a shitstorm. I guess that's the real hot take, is it's just a big shitstorm and no one knows what the fuck is going on. And until then, volatility up.
Yeah. I guess it's not, I wonder when the relevance comes into play of this being, as much as it's, unfavorable for us because we just don't like going to war, but for the everyday folks in Iran, it seems very largely welcomed this incursion by the U.S. because they hate the Ayatollah. So,
you know what they're going to hate even more? U.S. missiles killing their family members.
Right.
Yeah, that is the challenge.
So far they've been highly targeted, little tiny things in specific spots. But if they go to carpet bombing and they do turn it into another Gaza, then it's going to become less popular. But for now, with what the U.S. is doing, at least still the large majority of them think they want. If I'm not mistaken,
the U.S. has wiped out 4 children's schools.
I thought it was just 1.
I believe it's 4 or 5 now. We can
really need to get OpenAI to make no mistakes, please.
Yeah, very interestingly, if you look up the names of those schools, they're considered IRGC properties, which is kind of by ChatGPT because of news articles published. So I looked up. First thing I did when they bombed that school was I went onto ChatGPT and I typed in the name of the school that got bombed, because I was wondering, are these fucking idiots running our military really just asking AI for strategic targets?
The
first thing that popped up, I know. And the first thing that popped up was that a bunch of these schools are part of the IRGC property network. They're schools for children, but they're listed vis-a-vis these news articles as being IRGC properties, which makes sense. And why are they getting bombed?
It's like a
that-
lack
that
of
Well,
good
very
I
vetting
mean,
too.
you've got Lindsey Graham on today saying that he's going to personally go to Iran and quote blow the hell out of these people.
Which ones? The military or just everyone?
The well-endowed ones.
He is got his knee pads.
He would be
he's
jealous
ready
of
to
them.
go.
He's
ready
gonna go
to
blow
go.
the hell out of them.
You've got to be.
Lindsey
You just
Graham,
can't.
upon seeing the size of their penis, became incensed with rage.
Even more inspired to blow the hell out
It's
of him.
just how does he not? His communication specialist needs to be fired.
I mean,
Okay,
maybe not
so
just his
how
communication
much?
specialist.
All right, so we've got oil going through the roof. I can't help but look at the fact that oil's going straight up, volatility in equities is going straight up, but price isn't really doing a whole ton, at least day over day. Like intraday, it's gotten much more volatile. And you'll see like moves that'll happen, but we're just for VIX touching 30. It doesn't seem like we've really done much. So what do we think is the connection there?
It's the thing is because it's the ultra short-term volatility trade still is just there's so much gamma packed in that. I mean, there's clearly some reticence to stay in positions throughout the day, but yeah, I feel like intraday news is kind of one of those things still that poses an even bigger threat to the market than just the cost of insurance going up.
Well, one of the interesting things that I've seen a lot of chatter about as well is everyone's kind of freaking out about this, and they are unloading shares of equities and replacing it with calls. They're doing like that strategy so that you
The
can
ruggening?
capture. Well, you capture your profits, but you don't risk losing all of your future potential upside. But vol has been so blown out that it's very unlikely that those calls are going to pay off, and so you have a situation where those calls are also now in the short term providing supportive delta to market pricing, and that's going to decay in a way that is not generous to that strategy. And so, yeah, I'm just wondering, but I I guess I'm interested to see what happens tonight in futures because this is very bizarre to me that volatility has moved so much and realized vol just hasn't really done the same yet. That's why I posted earlier this week when I posted the delta on the market, which is still elevated, that this is either going to go straight up or straight down.
I mean, based on the news I've seen over the weekend, I don't think there's been a lot of confidence gained.
No, it seems like I haven't been able to find anything regarding Iran that looks like people have it under control.
No. If anything, I
it-
would say it's getting drastically worse every minute.
Yeah, and I think a big challenge is what you mentioned before is nobody really understands why we're doing it.
No, I do.
Well,
No, I'm just kidding.
maybe.
I was going to make an Epstein Files joke, but
Uh, yeah, I so but here's my larger question of this is can you put the cat back in the bag at this
No.
point? I mean, are people finally going to realize that Trump is a liability that must be hedged against?
Well, if they're
It's not just
gonna,
him. It's his bloodthirsty administration. I mean,
it's,
like
well, hold on.
yeah.
I mean, can we at least wait for the incoming invasion of Cuba to figure out if he's really acting in America's worst interest. Because you know what we need right now? An island in the Caribbean with no natural resources that's been effectively cut off from the world for the last 70 years. And we need it bad. Because I know some rich guys that would really like easy access to Cuban cigars.
Hold on. Number one, all of the Cubans, I love cigars, actually. Fun fact. All of the Cuban growers have moved on to other places to sell to the world, and there's great quality cigars from many other places. If you are still fetishizing Cuban cigars at this point, you are pathetic. Like you do
so what
not,
do we need Cuba for? Is it the glut of 1950s American made cars? Do we need
I mean, we need to put resorts there.
but I have to take a step back. Are you being serious right now? I can't even tell anymore.
No, he's really like escalating against Cuba right now.
Oh my
we
God.
attacked Ecuador like last week and no one's even talking about it. Like, did we have like a military operation in Ecuador? What the fuck is going on? We're like blitzkrieging the world, but like in all the shittiest spots that have no strategic impact.
It's all about living space.
Don't forget that he has announced at his Shield of America meeting that we are going to be using military force against cartels in the Americas. And it's okay because Kristi Noem, after embezzling $220 million of taxpayer money, she's going to be in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. He took her out of Department of Homeland Security to put her in charge of something else?
It's called the Shield of Americas. Well, yeah, because you can't fire her because she'll say shit. So he's got to keep her quiet. Got to stay on the payroll.
And here I was thinking that, naturally she was removed because of the embezzlement.
No.
But no, she was just given.
Just need to move her somewhere where less people are going to be paying attention to the embezzlement.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she can't keep embezzling, she's going to run her mouth.
But it's okay. She only gets to keep the third private jet to fuck her boyfriend on.
Yeah, this is the best timeline. We should
the bang Boeing.
Oh God. All right. So are there any other things that we want to say about oil? I mean, I'm sure we could just talk about oil and its impact on other markets everywhere. At
the same time, there's almost nothing else to talk about besides oil, right? I mean, you can just take all the other things that we need to talk about and then throw oil on it, and it'll just be more about oil. Like, do we want to talk about stagflation from last week's jobs numbers? Because guess what? That's way worse now.
Well, I actually do want to talk about
at $60 a barrel, at $90 a barrel. That's a big fucking problem.
Well, yeah, I did want to transition over to jobs data weakness because that was the other, I think, huge headline that is still huge even in the face of all of these other very huge developing headlines. Is that jobs data absolutely sucked last week.
Hold on. Before we get into the actual number, are you trying to say that the Federal Reserve Bank of the United States is failing at their dual mandate of both doing nothing and doing nothing?
Yes. Oh yeah, we could get in. I hope we get to talk about the federal. Actually, you know what? I'm in charge. We get to talk about the Federal Reserve today, and we're going to do that. But before we get into their role in all of this, let's talk about the actual jobs data number. What was it? And it's always the devil's always in the details because of the birth death.
I do have numbers, and I can share them with you. 92,000 jobs were lost off of the headline. Unemployment rate went to 4.4%. And then it gets better. Remember how we said we didn't generate any jobs into 2025? Well, December got revised from plus 48,000 to negative 17,000. And then January, which finally looked like it had a shred of hope in the healthcare sector, also got revised down from 130,000 jobs to 126,000 jobs, leaving us negative 69,000 jobs across the last 2 months and down another 92,000 jobs this month.
Yeah. You seem way too excited about that. I mean, no,
I mean,
it is.
I do like to watch the world burn, even though I'm
And
part of it.
Fucking
I
ANCAP.
will say, I think I don't want to say excited and I don't want to say relieved. It's difficult to really kind of nail down exactly what the feeling is, but there is some level of satisfaction. See, that's not even right either. It's just like it
I
feels
think
like
Poignance.
it feels like I'm not finally for the first time in like 3 years, I'm not being gaslit quite as hard as I have been.
Mm,
Like my perceived like my lived experience is starting to match the data or the data starting to match like people's lived experiences.
you mean
It's
all
been,
the things we're saying are true? Just bask
well,
in the righteousness of it. It's okay. Take this moment and own it.
yes, that part does feel nice to be correct, but it's kind of sucks to be correct about something that's so painful for so many people. But
Ignore that part, though.
right. But I think there's always been this big frustration of all of these, all of these numbers look great while everybody's pissed off and everybody's sad and everybody's angry and everybody's complaining. And then the whole time they just say, well, the numbers don't support your bad attitude, so you just need to have an attitude adjustment, and you just need to you're there was this gaslighting that was going on where it's just like it's not bad, it's actually quite good, and if you think it's bad, it's because you're stupid.
Yeah, that went on for 3 years now, and I'm tired of hearing it.
So that
3
part,
years of no job gains, by the way. I want to
yeah,
point that out.
right. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, I've
no,
been
I
saying
know exactly
since
what you're
the
talking
end of
about.
2023 that we have entered a recession, and I looked like an insane person for 2 years.
Yeah, but nobody was looking at all of the data getting revised down after the fact. Everyone was like, we can ignore that because the new jobs report that's, positively biased, that says everything's great.
Yeah.
And now even the new jobs reports that are positively biased are negative.
Well, and then we had a bunch of Q&As with the Federal Reserve board members who we are going to talk about. But they're all kind of saying, kind of exactly what you'd expect somebody to say who's just wants to put their fingers in their ears and pretend nothing bad is going on. They just say, well, this is a troubling number, but if this trend continues for the next few months, then we're going to have a problem, right?
It's continued for 2 years.
Right.
God, man, they just really love their forward projected curves. Everything's fine until it's bad for 3 months.
Yeah.
Yep, then it's a problem.
So, I want to go to the other side of sort of that narrative. The other thing that's been coming up a lot in the news, also being discussed a lot by the Federal Reserve, and also numbers came out, productivity. And I'll just read you the most recent headline from the Bureau of Labor. What is it? BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics. Productivity increases 2.8% in Q4 2025. Unit labor costs also increased 2.8%. And you've got all these Federal Reserve board members running around saying productivity numbers look good. We're not quite sure why. We don't think it's AI, but it could be. What do you guys think about those productivity numbers? How are we so magically productive?
Because we're firing people and other
Wait,
people
no,
have to do their
productivity
work.
was way worse, wasn't it?
No, so the annual average productivity increased 2.2% from 2024 to 2025. So it's going up to 2.8%.
Yeah, that strikes me as people having to do more work because there's less people in their department.
Hmm.
But it says that
Does that have
hours
anything to do with
worked
the population
decreased.
revisions?
I have my own theories. I think there are a couple of things that naturally are going on. If you are entering into a recession or have been in a recession for quite some time, for a year or two, you think about like who are the companies that are driving a lot of the growth in incomes and things at businesses, and a lot of it is software and a lot of it is services, where you can get away with lowering the quality of that service for a little while, especially if you already have contracts and you can kind of ride that, right? So there's a lag between the time the labor output that you get from a person and how long you can sell that labor to people. And I think that we have experienced some of that now as the layoffs increase, as people are no longer hiring to, grow into all of the contracts that they've signed, and they're just kind of able to basically basically milk the cow here after it's died for a little bit. And so that's going to look like productivity, right? Because you are continuing to reap the benefits of the work that's been done, but you're not still paying those people.
Didn't I just write an entire article over on X about how all of this productivity is just companies spending a lot of money?
So, yeah, well, I mean, that's another part as well, right? I mean, you get a bunch of productivity, and you wrote that article like 3 weeks ago now. You can't keep shilling the same article over and
Yes,
over
I
again.
can.
It was a nice article.
Not everyone in the world has read it though, and I want
It's
everyone to
true.
read it.
Mm, I don't know if you actually do. You'll get a bunch of comments. You'll anyway. So there are a lot of reasons that are actually bad that labor productivity is increasing, especially when things don't look great and other things are going in the wrong direction. Usually that increase isn't super great. But despite that fact, and despite the fact that even the Federal Reserve admits that it doesn't seem like it is related to AI yet, they are all going around talking about the glory days that the AI revolution are going to bring about, almost like it's basically a done deal. Like they're all depending on it. And it really concerns me. I want to bring up what Warsh said about it, because he said something this week on it. Let me see if I can find it. So, Warsh thinks the US is due for another technological windfall. AI will be, quote, a significant disinflationary force. And he talks about, faster trend growth rates raises the natural rate of interest as firms and households bring forward spending. So he's actually talking about what I can't even really figure out what he's talking about, because out of one side of his mouth he's talking about disinflationary forces, but on the other side he's talking about, things like the natural rate of interest increasing, which would imply inflation. I I'm not really sure what to make of it, but he's going to be in charge soon. So what do we have to expect from him regarding this productivity in AI? So you have, on the one hand, you have the dual mandate, right? You have employment going down and being pretty shitty, and then you have productivity and GDP going up, right? So do we see the stag and the inflation? And what do we do about it? What is he going to do about it?
Raise rates.
Pretty much.
He's gonna. Well, hold on. This is really important to highlight about Walsh and him not yet being Fed chair. The politically backed bid for Fed chair is drastically different than how somebody is going to behave once they become Fed chair. As we found out from Jerome Powell, despite Trump hating him probably more than anybody else in the current standing government, Trump is unable to remove him because he has no power to do so. And Walsh's statements and opinions now versus Walsh's statements and opinions once he's Fed president could change drastically. He has a very long and storied history of being a big old hawk. And even though he's making a bid for, the Fed position right now, that doesn't mean that he's gonna carry those same ideologies over once he becomes head of the Fed. So a lot of this can just be smoke and mirrors, and we really don't know how he's going to feel until he's in the big seat.
Yeah, and
So
I think
I don't think the market, and I definitely don't put a lot of emphasis on his statements right now while he's making the political side of the bid to get voted in. Because right now he has every incentive in the world to just say all of the best things that people want to hear.
No, that's true. Yeah, so I look at these productivity numbers and I see just basically just data malpractice, data it's not real, right? I mean, it's just inflation. And to me, I think we're going headlong into stagflation. And I don't think it's necessarily going to end until we stop propping it up. We have to let bad debt die. We have to make risk great again. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about in terms of jobs data weakness and rising stagflation concerns?
No, the Fed should hike rates. They should do it now.
With
Oil's
oil
at
rocketing.
$90 a barrel. Yeah, we should bring rates. We should just snap rates right back to 5%.
Yeah, I don't
man.
even know if that's going to do it.
No, it wouldn't. But it would
An
slow
emergency
down.
rate hike?
It would slow it down. Yeah, imagine that. Emergency rate cuts scare the shit out of the market. Imagine like a 2 bip hike.
Oh, dude.
But I'll say one other thing. Well, I guess we could go right into the next topic, which is, global funds do seem to be pulling back from AI and tech stocks amid, inflation fears and, uncertainty. Basically, the increased cost of insuring risk.
There's a
Everybody's
shitload of private credit risk right now too.
Yes, there is.
We've got Jamie Dimon out there saying we're at the end of the credit cycle and nobody knows how bad this one's going to be. We've got Citadel warning about it. We've got everybody coming out and saying the things they were saying in 2007, and we're not getting a lot of people listening, which is generally how it works. But I mean, I know we had like the collapse of, First Brands and Tricolor, and I think Friday we saw BlackRock deny withdrawals from their private credit fund.
I've seen a few of those stories.
Yeah, these are all big signals that get kind of washed away in all the headline news, but I think there's a fairly significant amount of risk in private credit that is probably sitting behind all of this headline and macro risk that we aren't really considering.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, on the one hand, we know that one of the nice things that private credit has going for it is that it doesn't often mark to market. And so it can hide losses for a long period of time. Um, I kind of think it's interesting that everybody has sort of started. Basically, nobody talks about CRE anymore, commercial real estate, and the challenges there, right? I mean, offices, nobody, like, there's still empty office buildings that people are paying for that have no income, right? And they're not marking those things down. They're renegotiating those in an attempt to delay the inevitable, but that's still like a huge thing that nobody's even really talking about anymore, right? As it's probably getting really bad. And on top of that, you have all of these people also investing into all of these AI startups and things like that that are all going to go nowhere because AI has been an overhyped technology. And so you're just kind of getting this 1-2 punch of existing bad debt serving as the foundation as they pile on tons of new terrible debt. And it's just like this pile of debt shit. And it's been great. I mean, I don't think private equity has paid out more than just like cash deposited since like 2017. So we're talking about nearly a decade of basically no returns. And that seems to be about as long as people can string along a bad thing. I mean, even what's Elon Musk? His stock Tesla popped in what 2017 is when it started going up. So he
Mm.
got about 10 years out of that. It's yeah. So that lines up quite nicely with all of these discussions of the end of the credit cycle, right? That this is
Well,
the
you know what the big sign was that the rug was going to get pulled, don't you? When they started offering private equity to retail traders and investors.
Mm.
oh yeah for sure.
That tells you everything you need to know right there. When they want you to have it, that means they don't
There
want to
was
have it.
there was 1.4 trillion in debt issued privately to sub investment grade US companies last year.
Fuck.
Yeah.
People with LOIs. That's what they have on their balance sheet, is a whole bunch of letters of intent.
But I mean,
Also, MOUs.
this is exactly like the kind of behavior that cracked the system in '08, right? Like,
Yes,
and
yes.
Yeah, it's a
we
cocaine
set up
party.
these guardrails to stop these public institutions from taking on this kind of risk, and so then they've just pushed lending into less regulated and more unproven areas where they can lend, in a way that they say is, better for the expansion of business, but really is just adding tons of risk outside of the scope of regulatory agencies.
When do you think that we're going to wake up as ordinary people and realize that all of these bankers and all of these developers and all of these businessmen are just lying, and they lie, and they inflate and they hype,
Mm.
and we need to just start demanding more rigor from people. It's like, how, like, convince me that this is going to be a good investment, because our base assumption needs to start being your idea is bad and this is going to be a bad investment. Convince me of the other case that it could be good, and if you are successful at convincing me, then maybe you will get some money to try it. But I'm watching you. Like, this whole notion of just like, oh, we have to spend. There's no risk. There's no due diligence. This is the problem that the Fed has created, right? With the Fed put. And so the question becomes, what is the Fed going to do in response to this when it starts to collapse? Are they just going to signal the same thing? We will bail you out and we will give you another, 10 years to slowly get us into this mess again. 20 years,
That's
whatever.
well, that's clearly they've had no plan other than that. I mean, like even Basel III, which was supposed to be sort of a movement towards that kind of a standard, has just not happened, right? Like,
Well, so
yeah.
I think the big difference here, though, is inflation, right? Because remember in 2008, everybody was thinking that there might have been some inflation from all of this quantitative easing, um, and there wasn't. And the reason for that is because credit dropped so hard in 2008, and the Federal Reserve basically came in and dropped rates to zero, and that wasn't causing credit to recover because it's
Well, it's
not just
because
some
also there
magical
was like just
thing,
like
right?
the skepticism returned, right? Like you were saying, that was a part of it too, is that credit didn't just magically expand and everyone was gung ho to buy anything, right? It was a
Yeah,
cautious return to normalcy, and banks just had shit
but
tons of money now.
yeah, and but the Fed came in and basically swapped, bonds and mortgages for cash at banks, but it still didn't really cause them to lend, right? It was just dead money that sat around for a while. And so that is one of the reasons why I think that we didn't see much inflation from that until, 10 years later, and by then you've just naturally grown into a lot of that. Uh, and if you take the other side of that, or in 2020, the Federal Reserve dropped a bunch of money basically directly on people who were going to spend it right away, right? The total amount of money just skyrocketed overnight, basically, and um, that caused a bunch of inflation. And so I don't really see what the Federal Reserve is going to do here because, sure they could drop interest rates to zero, but prices are high, right? And that's not really the problem. The problem is that they need people to continue to create credit, and they don't care if the credit's good or not until it's bad, until it's clearly bad. And the issue is that we're sitting on a mountain of bad debt, bad deals. People made shitty deals for the last 10 years, and that needs to be flushed away. And people need to be scared that if they make a bad deal, they could lose their money.
Yeah, this is actually happening right now. Recently, Tropicana brands, um, in 2025 slashed the value of some of their debt by 30% while maintaining their full ownership. And this happened with pet food supplier Wellness Pet, as also software companies GoTo Group and Rackspace Technology and Del Monte Foods, slashing 500 million or more in restructured debt on their way to cutting the value of creditors' holdings while keeping their ownership stakes fully intact.
Wow.
How are they even able to do that?
You just restructure. These aren't like blue chip bonds that you fucking sold in a public market. You just restructure your agreements and your ownership.
So they went to their creditors and said, "Hey,
No, they didn't go
we
to their
can't."
creditors. They just restructured and fucked their creditors because bad
Oh,
deals were
okay.
made. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and to me, that's the first sign of a healthy.
Robust economy.
No, 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 no. It is a healthy consequence to bad debt. I think the question is how much are we going to allow that pain to work its way through the system to hopefully eventually on the other side get to a better system, because the problem is that all of the bad debt it's already been spent, right? I mean, like the it's already a done deal. You can't reverse any of it. There's no way to unwind it. You just have to realize it. That's all that's left at this point, is to realize it. And that's going to be rough.
Yeah. Basically,
Yeah,
yeah, the liquidity's got to go down.
I mean, back in '08. right? A lot of what happened with subprime was just like rating agencies arbitrage, right? All the bond sellers were just hunting around for who would give them the best rating. And now you have all of this private debt being rated by no-name companies that are, there's hundreds of them, and they're just under the influence of whoever. And they're saying, "Oh, this debt's great. They're fully in compliance. Don't worry about this shit. It's A plus." But is it? And who's really checking? And where's the fail-safe in this system? And is the SEC even doing anything to ensure that these investments are investment grade?
Has the SEC ever done anything?
I mean, they jerk off to a lot of Pornhub.
Yeah, and then they make videos making fun of super stonkers.
That too.
I mean, this is kind of what I'm talking about, right? Is that nobody wants to do the due diligence because they just get excited and they get FOMO and they want to gamble. And so
Well,
we
the
have
money's
these
so
fun little
good, like, it's a
agencies, and their
cocaine
job
party.
is to do the due diligence, but they're not doing it. And so it's just like everybody relies on everybody else to do it, so they don't have to do it, and then nobody does it. And nobody's checking, right? Because when times are good, when the money's flowing, when the easy money's there for the taking, grifter's gonna grift, and it feels great. Everybody's having a great party, and then it collapses, and then ugh.
Everybody's sad. They're like, "How could anybody have seen this coming?" Yep. And then there's going to be a bailout because we have no exit strategy for all this stupid shit. So
Looks
pretty
like
great.
Jim Cramer said that oil might go to 150 to 200 a barrel. So at least
No
we know it's
shit.
not going to go to 150
All
or
right,
200
time
a
to
barrel.
short
Going straight
oil.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, taco time.
All right, that was depressing. Let's go into something maybe slightly less depressing. I don't know. We'll see. Talking about earnings this week. Do we have any earnings that we're interested in?
Oracle.
Oracle? You think Oracle is more important than Ulta Beauty
Yeah.
or Brainsway
Yes.
or Service Titan?
Stop reading all the earnings for next week.
How do you
Oracle's the most
say
important one.
how do you say nectar? Do you say nectar or nectar?
Nectar, because it sounds like Reptar.
Nectar?
I hope it's nectar because nectar sounds
It's
disgusting.
Nectar brands or whatever, right?
I don't even know what that is.
They make like juice or some shit.
Oh.
We got Campbell's coming up, seeing if people still want to have 3D printed meat.
They don't have 3D printed meat.
That's just what the one guy said.
Yeah, that one guy. God, we've been doing this. We've been doing this for a while. That feels like ages ago.
Yeah, I had to do a good callback on
Yeah,
that
okay,
since I saw Campbell's.
So Oracle, obviously in the news this week. Does anybody want to go through that?
Yeah,
Their
so
pullout game's
apparently
pretty
a
strong.
specific tranche of their Abilene, Texas Stargate site has failed. Basically, OpenAI and Oracle have a agreement to create, a 8-site facility in Abilene, Texas, one of which was a 600 megawatt expansion. And that has been one of those expansions has been cut off. And the rest of the development of 4.5 gigawatts is still on track. However,
For now.
this is for now. But however, this is like the first pullback in this rush to build these data centers. This is the first whoa, maybe we're going a little too far here. And there is no public breakdown of what's happened yet, but it does appear that it's a financing issue. And these companies are, I mean, OpenAI has made negative hundreds of millions of dollars so far. I don't
Billions.
understand why they're why their debt wouldn't be just as good as gold, or how they could
Mm.
possibly run into a
They're
financing
the
shortfall.
least profitable company in the history of the world.
Exactly. And so hence I don't understand why they would have difficulty finding financing to buy real property and real assets with someone else's money.
Well, what I'm also
They've made
curious about is
zero less than $0.
they've just quote unquote closed their $110 billion funding rounds, right? Where Nvidia, Amazon, and SoftBank have all agreed to throw in a shitload of money into them. Never mind that it's all in tranches and conditional, and there's only, I think, like something like 30 billion of it has actually been disclosed. But I also don't know how much of it would be in kind, right? That's the big question, is who's actually still giving OpenAI money, like green money? Because Nvidia doesn't want to, doesn't want to just buy their own chips as much as they probably are at this point. Amazon doesn't want to give them money. They've got all these chips that they bought and installed that they have to find a user for, right? So I imagine that only SoftBank is giving them money, but SoftBank, their credit is getting thrown in the shitter, right? I mean, S&P credit rate agency is very concerned about the quality of SoftBank's books. And so it's not even clear if they're going to be able to get the margin they need to give them money at this
I mean,
point without selling something.
this all comes back to the I mean, we've discussed this for a while. OpenAI is a core fundamental aspect of this narrative, right? If OpenAI goes under, the entire narrative is kaput, that this is like some industry changing technology that's going to revolutionize everything and make everybody rich, right? So as that sort of like central aspect of it, in the center of the hype, I mean, you really can't let them go under, even no matter how much you may want to or how much you may hold your nose at just giving them piles of money to light on fire. You have to keep it going for as long as you can, so that you can keep investors interested in the insane amounts of capex that you are going to spend on the same technology.
Yeah, but I think that I think that people are doing a lot of what Microsoft was doing earlier on, is they're giving them compute and calling it money, right? So they're giving them cash and they're giving them money in kind. And I think that just kind of speaks to, yes, there's a lot of demand for compute, but it's coming primarily from two companies, Anthropic and OpenAI. And a lot of the reason that they're getting so much demand for compute is because, one, they're giving away compute at a deep discount, and two, they're basically selling a drug. It's more of like it's something in between like a social media phenomenon and a drug. I'm not quite sure how to frame it, but you're
As a
creating
cult,
this you're creating this addictive product that doesn't quite really do anything, but everybody thinks it's doing a lot of great things, and you're giving it to people at a steep discount. You're literally,
it's like a
giving
chiropractor
it. It's like a drug dealer trying to get you, trying to make a new customer.
or the
Um,
nutraceuticals.
and so when they actually have to start making money and they have to jack the price up of this stuff, I think everybody's gonna be pissed off, because you're gonna not only are you gonna remove any sort of actual productivity benefit that people might have perceived that they had, but you're gonna cut them off from access to it. They're gonna be angry.
Well, yeah, I think they believe that supply or that demand is less elastic than it is in their AI products, and if you make like, you know, if you make it cost as much or more than a Netflix subscription for their lowest tier, people are just gonna not use it. I mean, that's why Google's gonna win, is because their shit's just gonna be free.
Yeah, well, that's when their strategy, right? This is exactly what Google wants to happen. Is everybody else is spending so much money trying to beat Google, and Google's like, I'm selling 100-year bonds over here, buddy. You think you're gonna win?
Yeah. Yeah, straight up.
You
So yeah,
know they
it's
sold that 100-year bond as a flex to be like, we will never stop spending on this. You will lose.
yeah. No, they're and that's kind of their modus operandi. So
I hope they
I
spend
think
their
they're gonna win.
stock all the way down to $1 a share.
That would be insane. Somebody else would blink well before then, I would think. Although
Yeah,
I also
Microsoft
thought
would
that
cry uncle.
I also naively thought that we would never get this far into this shit pile that we've gotten ourselves into with AI. Here we are.
Yeah, we just keep descending further into the delusions, and that's kind of how it goes in a hype cycle when you're trying to keep the money going, as you say more and more outlandish things.
Shockingly, though, the public sentiment around AI is really turned. I mean, I would say even 6 months ago, everybody was just praising how amazing Chat GPT and Gemini and all of these things were. And, newer models and more iterations later. And the general consensus I see online now is like, oh, look, more AI slop.
Yeah, Microsoft, who has a Discord, by the way, fun fact, had to ban the use of the word. They auto mod the use of the word microslop. So
Yeah.
that kind of tickled me. They literally have to censor their own Discord from people saying microslop because it's become such a problem for them.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's one thing if you're at your house by yourself in your office late at night and you slip yourself you indulge yourself a little bit of something that feels good. It's
Indulge in
completely
the
another
AI.
thing. It's completely another thing if you're burned out at work and your boss storms into your office and demands that you take some heroin right now.
Right. Yeah, no, that's the thing is these business leaders are just telling people use it, and for
Are
a lot of
they?
people they are. They're just saying use the
Yes.
AI stuff. We spent a
Yeah.
bunch of
We
money on
we
it, and they're like,
spent
what
a
the
bunch
fuck
of
do I
money
do
on
with
it. We
this?
need you to use it. Use it more.
Yeah, just saying use it, and it's like, for what? I'm a fucking actuary.
I need this shit to be correct.
Right. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like it's not it's getting shoehorned into every facet of the workplace if you're behind a bright rectangle. And like, I mean, thankfully I don't see it as much, but when what happens too is the AI delusion syndrome pandemic is it's got its grips on plenty of people too, and a lot of these higher ups whose job is to fantasize about how to make more money,
See,
right?
I don't know if that's true. Like, I don't think a lot of business leaders are supporting the use of AI broadly at all, or at least in surveys, they're not saying that they are. I mean, if you have one just absolutely redundant facet of a business that could be run by any fucking moron and probably even run by Chat GPT, it's middle management. So I can't
Yeah.
see anybody in a middle manager role, even somebody as stupid as a middle manager, pushing their replacement onto their subordinates.
It's usually not middle management. It usually comes from the top.
Yeah, this is like see it like when you buy it, you pretty much are a de facto supporter, and you want to see those dollars you spent be productive, right? As like a CFO or something like that. Like,
What people are
so
finding is that it's not super useful. That's
yeah,
what's
the
been
surveys
showing
say they're
up
not
in the
productive.
surveys.
Yeah.
Um, but at behind the scenes, what the how it works is they all got excited. The board got excited. The board wants an AI strategy. The CEO and the C-suite creates an AI strategy. The AI strategy involves signing a deal with OpenAI or Anthropic to use their services and get this many seats. And then they tell all of their workers, use these seats to go forth and be productive. And the workers are all just like, what the fuck?
You guys don't feel we're
And
past that now? I feel like we're
I
past
think
that
I
point.
think we are getting past that, but it came in waves, right? Everybody didn't start it at once, right? And so as some people were sundowning the idea or getting disenchanted by it, there was a whole new wave of businesses that were getting into it because that signal, the the negative signal from the early adopters hadn't propagated out in time to the other people before they signed, right? And so you kind of have, it's almost like a shock wave, right? The particles are moving faster than the messages can be sent through the particles. You see how I threw in some physics stuff
Yes,
because it
I'm
pulls
aware.
well?
Wow. It's
Yeah.
like informational Cherenkov radiation.
Who's it polling well with? Our one
I don't know.
viewer.
There was like 2 people that said that
Have we
they
done a
enjoyed it.
poll?
We should.
No.
How many of you guys like physics? But I have to agree. But also, it's not only just we want these tools. It's also businesses that are entering into agreements, partnerships being bought, and all these things based on the promises around AI that they make and the structure they're structuring around AI that they do. So I could think of several businesses off the top of my head that I can't discuss, but that are they entered into these agreements that are really important for their business, but they're predicated on some sort of integration of AI into their systems, and and that's just going nowhere. And so like those companies, like, they're under pressure from their partners, right? It's not just sit down at the desk and use this AI. It's like, we got to get AI into our product, whatever that means. Like, it's, so there's that side of it too, and that's even bigger because that's people making investments, and that money, right, like, is a lot larger than the seats for using it for development or whatever. That's like actual full on commitments of like billions of dollars predicated on this. So then that's pressure too, and so they're thinking, we give people the AI stuff and then they'll come up with the innovation eventually, right? Which is basically tantamount to throwing shit on the wall and seeing what sticks. I mean, will they come up with something? Maybe, but it's not going to be like the thing that is the billions of dollars of value that are expected in this agreement.
Yeah, and okay, so let's close the loop on this and move along. What do we expect from Oracle's earnings this week? Because it just seems like, number one, I don't think people really give a shit right now too much about earnings. I mean, I think that they're already pretty scared of everything else, and they're making decisions based on their perception of macro um, events. But obviously Oracle's gonna look bad, but to me it looked pretty terrible when they decided to go into like $130 billion worth of AI build out. That seemed like the bad point to me, and everybody loved it. And
Well,
now
I think
that's
we're going to
starting
see some
to
criticism of that in the earnings call.
unravel. But it also, I mean, if you loved it when they announced it, it takes time to build data centers. It's not going to happen overnight. So just because they had one hiccup with one customer, does that necessarily mean that this is the quarter where it all starts to unravel? I mean, it just seems like this should be expected in any sort of build out of this scale.
Yeah, I think there's going to be plenty of that. I think it's mostly this is the quarter where people are just looking at each other kind of like, this is still happening, right? Like, so that's kind of where we're at, I think, more than anything else. Because Microsoft, yeah, Oracle, it's just people are starting to realize that exploding your capex, right, without any real roadmap to profitability for it is not exactly the best look for your investors.
Yeah. All right. We got the calendar.
CPI and uh Japan
Existing home
GDP.
sales. Existing home sales is a big deal. Obviously,
Yeah.
with the jobs losses we're seeing, that's the next place we're looking for big impact is home sales, and we've already seen some last month. So I'm going to be watching that. CPI, definitely agree with Dork on that. Core PC, probably coming up end of week. We got Jolts and PCE same day. Also GDP. So next Friday again, another big Friday.
Second estimate for quarter over quarter. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I
it
will
should be pretty
say,
interesting.
I had an
And
interesting
it's expected to
experience.
drop.
Well, yeah, sure.
dramatically.
That means inflation up.
Yeah.
So I had an interesting experience the last time I sold a home in in 2020. I was selling my house basically right at the election. So like Donald Trump was I don't remember all of the details, but I just remember we put our house up the week before the election and we had some showings, we had some interest, yada yada yada. And then like the election happened and we had all of that drama. The market just stopped. Like everybody just took a week off. There's like, we're not doing any of that this week. We are focused on was the election, are we going to have like a successful election? And then like the week after, everything was fine and we sold our house. And so I think about like how people respond to macro uncertainty in the housing market. And I wonder if we're going to see something like that here, where housing sales is already terrible. Is it going to get even more terribler? I don't know if it's going to show up this week, but I think it's probably going to start showing up. And I think it's going to start showing up in spending in other places as well as people just start to get worried because we've already had a number of months now where we've had significant dissaving, right? You know how I normally say Americans spend 95% of their disposable income no matter what? Well, right now they're spending like 97%. And if that snaps back to 95,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it all comes down to, yeah, economic uncertainty, all that stuff. I mean, yeah, the housing data, I don't know if we're there yet where you're going to see, I guess, existing home sales. Yeah. Housing starts might be interesting. I mean, that's more, if we're talking about macroeconomic uncertainty, that's where we should see it show up.
I
Consensus
mean,
for it is down. So,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know about housing starts and building permits. That's more of the home builder side of things, rather than it is the health of the housing market. There's a
right.
lot
Well,
of things that
they're
can
looking
affect.
5 years into
yeah,
the future,
they're a
right?
little bit more
Yeah.
So,
mechanical though. They've already kind of made the
They're more
plans
affected
to.
by commodity pricing, by labor, by they have. There's a lot of other factors there. I mean, if we're looking purely at are people buying homes or not, then we want to be looking at existing home sales and new home sales.
okay.
You know what I'm actually, I think, most interested in at this point? I mean, CPI obviously is way up there, but I actually kind of care about Michigan consumer sentiment. I didn't think I
Because
ever
it's
That's what
gonna
would.
just
influences Fed
fall apart.
decisions.
The Fed really does love the Michigan consumer.
They do.
Yeah, those 300 Michiganders, they're the most powerful people on the planet.
Oh, yeah, I think things are going to get more pricey, eh?
All right, I
The
think we'll
Fed's
leave
just
it
like,
there
cut.
on the calendar. We'll take a small break, and then on the other end, we'll finish it up with some questions and
Yeah.
some other things that we've got to
No
do.
break, power through.
Oh,
Power
I thought
through.
we said her. All right,
We just going to do it? All right, cool. Does
Yeah.
that mean it's my turn, Jay
all right.
Fresh?
Yes.
You going to
Well,
let
I
me have the
guess
mic?
yeah. I guess Ron, you're fired. We don't need you anymore. Now he'll play the
Ron can
commercials with
play an
you.
ad. You want to play an ad?
Yes,
Let's
let him
just do
play
it
an
while he
ad.
plays the ad. We'll just keep
I want him to
talking.
feel. I want him to feel useful.
He
Play
can't
your
get an
ad, let's go.
erection unless
Well,
he,
hey
there you
there,
go.
stranger. If you're enjoying this podcast, be sure to check us out on our socials, where you can hear the latest about Vol Stars and GammaStrike. Check us out on X, Blue Sky, and Reddit.
I do like Ron's Wild West voice. It's great.
Yeah, I like the
It is
old
like Yosemite
timey
Sam.
saloon piano in the background. Why doesn't
Yeah, it's
anybody
great.
play the piano like that anymore?
They do. I mean, if you go to like Grass Valley, California, they got one of those old timey pianos, and there's always someone noodling around on it. It's a vibe for sure.
It's a great vibe. All right, Ron.
Oh yeah,
Or not Ron. Dork. Take us
yeah.
away.
My turn. All right, cool. So, in case you guys weren't aware, You can ask us questions anywhere on any of our posts. Well, you should probably do it on the posts where we say, hey, ask us questions here. But we make those posts before we record. We also put links in the descriptions of wherever you're listening to us now on a streaming service. You can do comments on YouTube, wherever the heck you see it. We'll see if we can get to it. And yeah, so feel free to ask away. And if we like your questions, we will chat about them. So with that, we've got actually quite a few of these. Let's see. Okay, some of these are a little degenerate, so maybe we'll get to them. But so a question from Reddit.
Do the first one. Nope. Do the
You want
first
to do
one.
the first one? Okay.
Yes.
Why is the technical levels are sometimes so respected in the market? I guess that's
Yeah.
actually a pretty dang good question.
Yeah, this one came from X, and actually, I responded and said this is a great question because I wanted to make sure Ron saw it, so he put it on here. Because then it gives us an opportunity to talk a little bit about, our service and why it was designed the way it was designed, and why we track the things we track. So this question of why are technical levels sometimes so respected in the market? Because at the most basic level, people are not statistical machines. We are superstitious. We are built for survival. And what that means is that, if we see, I'm actually going to steal this from one of my colleagues. We were talking about this the other day, but if you see a tiger behind a leaf and it moves and causes the leaf to rustle, you're going to run the hell out of there. And the next time you see a leaf rustle, the next time, no statistics because it's only happened once before. The next time you see a leaf rustle, you are going to assume that there is a tiger back there and you're going to want to run. And so if you think about, the game theory of that and how human participants operate in the market, it is not statistical, it is superstitious. And so things like round numbers start to become valuable in the market because they are valuable to the people who are trading that market. And things like if everybody piles in at a certain level, they're going to be more likely to want to pile out from that level if things are going the other way. Or vice versa, they're going to be much more incentivized to defend that level so that they don't have to explain any mark-to-market losses to anybody, right? And so these technical levels are so respected in the market because they are telling you something about current positioning that is not being reflected in statistics that people are taking of the market because we are not statistical.
It's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy too. Like with oh, there's a wedge forming. Everyone sees the wedge forming and they trade the wedge, and then the wedge happens because of people trading it. So
Yeah, there's a
that.
really common analogy that's used for this in like quant groups and stuff, where if you think of technical levels as a map drawn by a group of tourists, is the map accurate? Probably not. Does it reflect the actual terrain? Probably not. But if every single person in the group is using that map to navigate, you'd be foolish to ignore it. Because if you try to navigate correctly outside of the map, but everyone else is walking off a cliff because the map told them to, you're still not participating in the shared reality of the crowd.
Right. If you're going to put a banana stand down and you try to put it in the correct direction, no one's going to buy your bananas on their way to the cliff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that's another component, right? That's the sort of self-fulfilling prophecy aspect of it.
And there's a cognitive bias too. I mean, we are as an animal built to recognize patterns, behavioral patterns, and we're wired to identify confirmation bias points. And so, and that psychology does have, a reflexivity that creates those kind of self-fulfilling prophecies.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got to remember this is the market could be considered almost like a composition of men, well, not just men, but of traders.
And
Right.
and the market, all quantitative assumptions about the market are built with this information as part of their total pool of knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? So you actually do have real mechanical effects at technical levels because you have smart money knows that there is going to be liquidity at those levels, and liquidity providers are going to use those levels to more actively hunt for that liquidity, and then you're going to get algorithmic feedback at those levels because they are technically significant, and high frequency trading picks up, and liquidity providers step in, and institutional traders try to get out, and
dumb money's just doing stupid shit the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, but everyone is operating with these assumptions that the importance of that is baked in. And so then the importance of that becomes as real as anything else. I have a long-standing belief that technical analysis does not provide a roadmap of future price action. I don't think there's any statistical proof that it is relevant in that regard. Like, it's not going to tell you where price is going to go, but it tells you very important things about where price is right now. And that, I think, that matters a lot. And I think our entire platform is built with the idea that you can translate these very technical signals, these statistical signals, into very easy and simplistic outlines like technical analysis that can provide the same information with just a line, without having to understand all of the processes that go into the creation of that line. You can understand the importance of that line.
Yeah, I think that's important. Every tool and everything that we build, it is all
Oh
about
shit!
how
Iran
can
just named Khomeini's son Moshtaba as the new supreme leader.
wait. Ron did
Oh.
our producer.
No, well,
It's
yeah,
okay.
Iran.
Don't worry about it.
Iran.
It's Iran, and
I was like,
Israel.
Ron, that's-
Israel
I didn't
already
know that-
fired the missile. He's gone.
Yeah, I will just say, every tool that we've developed for this platform is designed, when we select them and build them, it's designed to tell you something about current positioning, right? And so it's never about like, how do we predict the future?
Wait, it's 5:59. I want to say that I think oil's going to open at 110, and that's all.
Oh my god.
That would be crazy.
I don't know. I'm glad I filled up my tank yesterday. Although it was already up like 30%. But
98.
My
Jesus,
one oil
no.
contract would really love for it to open at 110.
No, it is. It's also piss rocketing too. So we're
What
already
does that mean?
It's the high's 100 now. So it's still
Nice. That
going
was close.
Yeah.
Close enough. Woo!
Woohoo! Everything's gonna get really expensive. Yay!
I got in those contracts at 70. Looks like ES opened down 100 points.
Yep.
Oh god.
Oof, yeah.
All right. Well,
bye Miss America. Bye.
we'll pretend
my God.
we'll pretend like the world's not currently burning as we finish this podcast. But I hope
well, this is actually opening of the oil futures market is a really good lead into our next question.
Go for it, Dork.
How
Not you, Girk. Dork is in charge.
Fine. All right.
The blue sky question.
No, YouTube.
Oh, the YouTube question. Okay. How can one best join the oil price craze in a highly leveraged way?
I already know what Gherkin's going to say. Hold on. Wait. Let me guess. Go long oil when it breaks 70.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I did, and it's been amazing.
Damn,
For
what
those
a
of you
three,
that don't
dude.
know, though, I've had a standing trade for the last 3 years of going long oil anytime it crosses $70 a barrel. I almost got gapped over this time, but I got downticked and filled on all my contracts, and it's been glorious. If you're trying to buy oil now at $100 a barrel, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
No,
The
I'm just a
downside
regular
risks
person
now-
buying gasoline.
The
Now
taco risk
massively-
is too
yeah.
great.
Enjoy waiting in line at Costco and see just you could do the always sunny thing, right? You just you
Count
get
the oil.
you just get gasoline, put it in a trash can, put it in the back of a van, and then wait for the prices to go up, and then see if you can sell it to people for more money.
We have
Oh,
way
you guys
too
want
many
to see a
always
fun
sunny
chart? I'm putting
references
it
here.
in our chat. Fairly relevant right now as well. It's the Gas Buddy national average. Yeah, things are looking great.
Yeah, I was a couple weeks ago I was paying $2.26 at my Costco. Now I'm paying almost $2.90 at my Costco.
That's nice. I was paying like $3.80 and now I'm paying like $4.50.
Gross. You should move to Texas.
How about it's worth the expensive gas to not live in Texas?
I would say that's probably fair.
Yeah, man.
So
This
the best way
is super
at this
volatile.
point, the best way to join the oil craze in a highly leveraged way, enter before the move. I mean, I don't know
You
what
could
you
have
do
bought
now.
oil when Trump shot missiles at Iran.
Yeah, you've got to
Last
move
week-
quick on that.
Last Sunday, when I said, man, oil's going to go to $100 a barrel. Monday, when it was still not $100 a barrel, that would have been a good time to buy it. Now it's $100 a barrel.
Yeah.
Officially.
I mean, you've got the
I'm so
Treasury
good at
talking
this.
about shorting oil futures. You've got missiles flying everywhere in the Middle East. Our 7th serviceman from the U.S. died today. Like it.
Can we just take a moment to just recognize that my predictive powers are
I know.
unreal?
I see the smile on your face. I know you want us all to praise what a
The
great,
light in your eyes.
what a great trader you are. You're such a
His
great
eyes do
trader.
light
It's
up
just-
when he's right.
It's just like statistically impossible how often I'm right. I must be cheating. Don't know how.
We just assume that you're lying like everybody else on X.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But we still like you
Wait,
anyway.
how's it a lie? But I said oil to $100 a barrel last Sunday. It's recorded and it's been enshrined by the internet, my prediction. Now it's this Sunday, oil $100 a barrel.
Yeah, but that's because you predicted everything and then just deleted all of the posts that were wrong.
But it was recorded live. I didn't predict anything else. What the fuck? You're a son of a bitch. You're just doing that's what other people do. Don't group me in with those assholes.
I know. I learned about their tricks from you, which is the only reason that I assume that
I
you
learned it
do
from
them
you.
because you're so in tune to all of those tricks online that you must be doing,
Because it's so obvious when they do it.
I know. Okay. Anyway.
All right, I just want to congratulate myself on being so
No,
awesome.
You take the victory lap. All right, Dork, keep us going, man.
All right. So then, why don't we go like this? So, keeping on oil since futures are absolutely popping off. Blue sky hypothetical question. If this war persists and oil prices continue to rise, how long is the price of oil likely to remain elevated? In other words, will or can other OPEC countries ramp up production to increase supply and lower price?
Ooh, I have a fun answer to this. Do you know what the U.S.'s next step is going to be? I bet you guys can't guess.
Expand into a regional conflict?
Greenland
fun.
again? More Greenland?
No. It's fun. You're gonna love this.
I'm gonna hate
So
it.
Are we
let's
going to
make
get
the
back into the
assumption-
whale blubber business? We're gonna start burning blubber.
God, no.
We're gonna
No,
burn blubber.
it's
That's what we're
terribly
gonna do.
Have you ever used blubber diesel?
I've never used blubber.
I use it to fuel my home's
Have you used
lanterns.
blubber? What have you used blubber for? Like actual whale
but I'm
blubber?
sure there's some ambergris and some cologne I own.
I just want to. I just
You
like
would
saying
buy
the
that
word
cologne
blubber.
with the
What a
ambergris
great
because it's
word.
expensive. Yeah, blubber. It's a great word.
No. I'm gonna just completely conspiracy theory, throw on my tinfoil hat, and I'm gonna go with our president is a Russian asset, and the next thing that we'll propose as a country is lifting the sanctions on Russian oil to open up supply.
That would not shock me at all.
I hate that sounds plausible.
Entirely not just plausible but probable. I think it is. I think that's what makes it upsetting is that it is probable.
Well, because my first reaction when you started saying that was just like the Steele dossier was so 2016, bro.
Oh fuck! I forgot about the Steele dossier.
Yeah,
There's been so much shit.
That was the whole like start with like the Russian hookers peeing on the bed that Obama was in.
Mm-hmm.
Did someone record the time I made that prediction? 6:07 p.m.
Yes, and
right, just saying.
Well, yeah.
I just want to make sure that I have verifiable proof for you, JFresh. Disclaimer: he's been a member of my Discord for 5 years, paying like $25 a month.
God damn it!
I mean, would you like me to stop?
No, absolutely not.
I support.
You're paying for his quesadillas and his
spend a lot of time
in. He's bought me 1 bottle of ambergris cologne.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna
see him in person. I'm gonna spray him with some of it
right in his eye.
I'm gonna unsub and I'm going to sub to Dork's Discord.
Dorks doesn't have Dork's Discord's the same as mine.
You're gonna sub to Dork's Dunks?
Dork's Dunks is literally a thread in my Discord.
Dork's Dunks is by Tootsie Roll at 30. It's actually been doing pretty good if you look at Tootsie Roll.
I've had a Discord for like 3 years.
And no one's in it as you like as well, right?
I'm in it.
Just you?
Just me.
Do you chat with yourself?
Because I'm a cat online. It's called JFresh's Cat Tower.
You should have called it your litter box.
Nope. I don't hang out where I shit. It's my cat tower. The only sub is me, and it is by far the best Discord I've ever been in.
What do you post in there for yourself to read?
It's just a big empty Discord where I just go and sit in silence by myself.
I hope you closed it to the public because after this stream, it's about to have 7 new
Dude, oil's at 107. Fuck.
Well, I'll just ban them. Ooh, I can ban people. I should let everybody in, and then like a weekend, I just ban everybody.
That's been your dream all along.
Dude, Girk, are you just like hearing like coins splatter all over your face right now? Because oil's up at 110 almost.
I said 110.
You said it open though. Okay, so you were technically wrong. Okay, and it's also 111 now. So
technically completely wrong.
It's 111 now. It's been 8 minutes.
It has. Yeah. No, it's we're up 20% in 8 minutes on fucking oil, dude. This is looking gnarly.
Hold on. To follow up the discussion about the highly leveraged
should I just
oil
like videotape my gas station watching the prices go up and down?
Like 150?
Was shorting it?
Like, I mean,
that's a pain trade,
guys. Hold on. I have a real statement to make right now. What if Jim Cramer being right is the end of the global markets?
Just they just close and don't open.
Well, he said oil's going to 200 a barrel.
No, he said 150, right?
150 to 200 a barrel.
Jesus Christ. I mean, if it goes to $200 a barrel, we're fucked.
Everything's fucked.
Yeah. I mean, if it goes to $100 a barrel, we're kind of fucked. Oops.
It's at 110, Dork.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Wait, what's Brent at? I know we're looking at light crude right now. What's Brent at?
Probably like 115. Assuming that light crude is still at 110. I'm not looking at it right now.
It is still. It dropped down for a sec, but it's hanging out at 110 for a bit. Everyone's just kind of sitting here going, Jesus Christ.
Brent's at like 101.
What?
Or maybe I'm just looking at the wrong contract. 102.
Anyway. All
Well,
right.
let's see. There is a question from Reddit. You guys want to do one more? Got time for one more?
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right, cool. So, got a question from Reddit. This might be a little conspiratorial, but do you think one of the reasons for the massive amount of spending for the AI build out has been due to the current administration giving assurances to the major players that there will be a bailout in the event of a major market downturn due to them being too big to fail? And in the event of a
No.
bailout,
And
what would you anticipate the effects to the overall market would be?
so I was thinking about this the other day. I just don't see Trump as somebody who's going to do that. I think I think if there's anything that you can depend on from Trump, it's that if you fuck up, he has no problem cutting you loose.
If it's in his best, if only if it's in his self-interest, will I think a
Right?
bailout would
It's
be in
like
order.
it's like you remember during his first term, it's like the second somebody screwed up and he cut them and left, and then they all like tried to write a book and be like Trump's actually a terrible person, but by then it was too late because they'd already licked his boots for a year. Um, I think it's going to be one of those things because he already had paraded them all through and made them all give assurances that they would not raise the price of electricity on people, and that they would basically give assurances that they would put in enough money to the electrical grid and the infrastructure such that it wouldn't raise the price of electricity on other people. So I think because it's so unpopular that I don't think that they're going to expect a bailout. I would be surprised if they got a bailout.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get a bailout as much as the creditors may get some form of relief.
Yeah, that's the bigger.
I have a
the
question.
bigger
What's
problem is the
inflation
Federal
going to be
Reserve.
with oil at $110 a
Well,
barrel?
the CPI numbers for February are probably going to be fine.
Yeah, well, those are going to be substantially lower. But what about the CPI numbers for March?
We're not going to get those till April, and by then something completely different will have happened.
You know what's actually going to happen? We're not going to get those ever.
Yeah.
Or we're going to get them, but we're not going to want to look at them.
Oh yeah, it's going to be like that the opening day of the worst day in 2008 when they're like, "And the stock market's about to open," and we all kind of wish it wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't know that there's anything else to say about the bailout. I just don't think Trump is going to bail out tech.
I don't think the government's in a position to bail out the major AI players, but I would agree that they feel like they could be bailed out.
They do. Yeah. Well, the thing is like they would like the thing is that the government depends a ton on Microsoft's technology stack. So like, and Amazon to some degree, like they're and Google too. I mean, they are major players and they are extremely important. But I think
I
that
mean, they're not going to need bailed out. Like none of
no,
those guys are
yeah.
going to need bailed out.
No, and if they would have to be so astronomically stupid to need to be bailed out, which I guess wouldn't shock me, but
Well, we're not
like,
there yet. Yeah.
yeah, no, we're not. I think that the most at risk is, Oracle and just
And all the
OpenAI and
Bitcoin
Anthropic
miners.
and all these companies. They're just,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be like a extinction level event for the people who provide cloud services and actually sell pieces of hardware and stuff. They're just going to shift their focus and recover eventually. So, yeah, all right. Those are great questions. Let's get some more of them, viewers or viewer. I don't know how many. One person, I think.
It's just
Two?
one person going to all of the different social media outlets and asking a bunch of different questions.
Yeah, thanks for making it not look like you're just one person. One person. We really appreciate
Yeah, they're
that.
doing
But
a great job of fooling us. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, keep it up. I like
Thank you,
answering
viewer.
questions. Yeah, thanks, viewer.
We would like to take a moment to thank our viewer. Thanks, Mom.
Okay, so and another thing too, Thursday after next, so that is
March
March
19th.
March the 19th, we are going to be doing a little sort of powwow where we discuss, kind of for people who are GammaStrike curious, kind of wanting to know, hey, what's going on here? We're going to start going over the tools in a little bit of depth and, answering some questions and kind of helping everybody get their footing on, some of these things we've created and what they mean. So starting that Thursday, we're going to be hitting, what do you guys think? End of day Greeks. I think that was a good one to kick off
Yeah,
with.
Yeah,
I
like
think we want
Greek
to talk about
neutrals,
that.
yeah.
Greek
And-
neutrals. Yeah, and this is great. A great opportunity if you feel like the learning curve's kind of passed you by, and you're still interested in GammaStrike, or for those people who've just never tuned in before. We're gonna start going in stages and going over each tool every other week. We're gonna cover that. We're gonna ask questions on it, and we're gonna talk a little bit about how best to use it as a trading tool and how to improve your performance with GammaStrike.
That sounds fun.
Wait, prove it in the bedroom, or what are we talking about here?
No, man, tell your wife.
Well, maybe.
I said that's not, like, no matter how many times you sign up for the service, it's not going to fix that.
Well, I mean, improved performance in the market might improve your performance in the bedroom, as a second order
Ooh.
thing.
Oh, maybe more confidence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Really boost your T levels and, get going. So yeah. So yeah, keep your schedule open that Thursday night. We will be doing that. We'll put out some reminders too for everyone who doesn't make it this far. I mean, it's only an hour and 40 minutes in, so
Let's start that one a little earlier. Let's say 8 p.m. Eastern.
I will make an early dinner for it, okay? Or a late dinner.
There you go.
One of the no, I'm gonna do an early dinner because I don't want to be
Skip
hangry.
dinner. You know what, Dork?
Go to Taco Bell and get yourself a quesadilla.
Order a quesadilla on DoorDash and I'll cover it.
Like a $40 quesadilla. All right, Garrick, you want to cover it? Fuck it. Okay, so why don't we move on then to everybody's favorite segment?
Stupid bets, stupid bets. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna lose?
I love the little J-Fresh giggle in the background of it. It always gets me. So it looks like J-Fresh won. Yes, Hormuz, no mines for will the Strait of Hormuz be closed? Are there any mines already planted in the Strait of Hormuz? Looks like J-Fresh is the winner, although the mines may not have been released.
Right. So I only won just because we don't know yet. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll find out, though, once America starts enforcing passage or trying to enforce
Technically,
passage.
the strait's not yet closed. It's just that the risk of crossing it is too great, so it's effectively closed.
I thought they
So-
But it's not
said no
officially.
ships. They
So
said they'd attack
Ron
any
won?
ships.
Everyone said a lot of things
Okay.
because it's
So
a
Ron
war.
won.
So
Because Ron just got the vote that none of us wanted, which was no closure, no mines.
there is one source that I found that
You found a mine?
a mine,
A mine. Okay.
a mine.
We would like to
But
take a moment to
no
think.
evidence of
the
there
mine.
or no confirmation of there being a mine field.
Yeah, it is plural
Yeah,
mines.
it does say
in the bet.
mines with an
It
S.
does. So I think
So it
Ron
has to be
still
at
has
least
it for
two.
now. Actually,
I mean, I'm in the running too. If
Ooh,
the
that's
mines
true.
get
That's
found,
over.
but Hormuz isn't closed, and then we just
But then
The
if they
bet's- but the
actually like
bet has-
officially,
The bet's over.
I don't know. I guess no. Ron wins because Garrick, you said it's technically not closed, and we only found one mine, so that's not plural mines. So yeah, and we have to close the week out with the stupid bet to make a new one. So I just
Give it to him.
Yeah, let's give
yeah,
Ron the
there's no
trophy.
formal closure. So I think Ron gets it.
Ron
All
gets
right.
the
Nice
the little
work,
It is
Ron.
certificate.
effectively closed. So this one is hard to rule on because I mean no one's going through it, but
Never
it is
have the
not officially
stakes been
closed.
so low.
Yeah.
There's no prize. Nobody wins anything, but we're going to debate it.
Congratulations,
hour.
Ron.
Yeah, Ron, I got a
That's
certificate
actually
for
no.
you.
The stakes
All right, what's
are
the new bet?
correctness and honor, which are the highest stakes.
All right, I gave Ron his award in chat.
I know.
Nice.
Is it a penis?
So, so anyways, new stupid bet. We have a suggestion for one, but oil already opened and Girk would have already won. So thanks, Girk. Fucking dick.
Well, we took too long.
Certificate of
I tried
being
to
a
end
little
this. I
bitch.
said an hour and 43 minutes ago when we started this that I wanted it to be an hour and 30 minutes, and then I could have predicted the price of oil and probably won.
Fuck you.
Is that why you wanted that? Oh my god! I thought you had somewhere to
Yeah.
go. I was like,
No,
we
no,
should
no.
be conscientious of his time.
No, I
You
just
just
wanted to
wanted
predict
to-
the
I
opening
see.
price of oil.
Well, it did get us to a little bit more reasonable
All
of a
right,
time.
well,
So,
you still got it. all right.
okay. Do we want to do meet, beat, miss on CPI?
No, CPI is fucking boring.
It's true.
Like everyone does, like that's what everyone's going to be doing, right? So
Yeah, people who actually care.
let's
It's
talk
got to
about
be like,
Oracle
what's
earnings.
Trump gonna do?
Oh, Taco Tuesday or what?
Oh, no, we're gonna do Win Taco. He can't taco this.
No,
Not
no,
this
no, no.
week.
It can't be taco. Just like we have to
Oh,
bet
do we
on
want
like
to
some
bet on my
ridiculous
Russian
things
oil
to do.
supply prediction?
Yeah, like things like that.
Ooh. So
Do you guys want to bet that we won't start trying to repeal sanctions on Russia? Because who are we going to piss off? Europeans?
Ukraine.
Well, we don't care about them. We've already established that. Well, at least our administration doesn't. I do. Personally.
Hmm.
I didn't say thank you.
That's true. I forgot that they didn't say
know.
thank you. That's almost as
Didn't say
bad as
didn't
wearing
even-
a tan suit.
Didn't even wear a suit to the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
true.
don't know if I love
I
that
would have
either.
wanted to put
Hmm.
my brand new suit on a couch that JD Vance had fucked, but you gotta dress for the job you want.
It's true. So okay, so we want to do Russian oil. Yes, no, but we need to have another leg on the parlay because there's
A
three of us.
parlay, yeah. Well, 4 if you count Ron as a human being, which some
Okay,
do.
so how about this? Oil closes the week above 115, and Russian oil sanctions are considered to be lifted by the White House. Not fully lifted
Well,
because I
then
feel
oil
like that's
won't
big.
close
But
the week above 115. That's
no,
a
it
ridiculous.
might.
No,
It
doesn't
might
work.
still.
You can't. No, it
Yeah.
can't. That's not possible.
What?
You
No.
can't open up supply and expect everyone to stay long.
Well,
oil
no,
at
they're
115 a
considering
barrel.
it. They're not doing it yet. They're just considering it.
That's all the news the market needs.
Okay,
though,
why don't
for oil to fall back to 80 a
why don't
barrel
we do
immediately.
closest? Okay, so here's the main bet is going to be: does Trump at least discuss the possibility of reducing restrictions on Russia to increase oil supply? And then the parlay on that, yes, no, is what is the closing price of oil going to be at the end of the week? And whoever's closest to it wins that one.
I
In the
say,
event of a tie.
I say yes. We try to lift restrictions, and oil closes the week under 100 a barrel.
You got to pick a number.
Fuck. Like an exact number for oil?
Yeah, just to the dollar.
This is the tiebreaker, right?
80.
Okay. Girk says yes, Russia, 80 a barrel at the end of the week. All right. What say you, Jay Fresh, or do you want me to go?
I'll go. I mean, I don't think he's going to do it, at least not this week. And we're going to oil 140 a barrel. And then he'll taco next weekend after we record.
he might talk up before we record, and you're gonna fucking go absolutely ape shit and be so pissed.
Wait, hold on. Lifting
Well-
Russian sanctions isn't tacoing because he didn't put them there.
Yeah, it's more like
right, but
toss
he's
to
yeah, okay.
Trump always sucks Putin's dick.
Just rolls
Um,
right off the tongue.
Yeah. Taft.
We could call it the PD trade, Putin Daddy.
Yeah, okay.
That was a double entendre
Putin
for
D's
our
nuts in your
viewer
mouth.
or our listener.
I'm gonna say no Russia. So no Putin fellatiation this week or weekend. And oil is going to close at $95 a barrel because the federal government starts shorting oil futures in the open market.
Oh my god.
Wait, now you're adding another leg
they
to the
start
bet. You
shorting
can't bet
oil
on that.
futures-
That's just
just-
my reasoning behind being below 100. Because I'm making a stupid bet. This is
I
called
don't know
stupid
what
We
you're
don't know the
talking
real
about. We have a
reason that you picked
conservative government,
95.
and you're talking about them doing socialist things like price controls.
That's correct. Because they're not actually
Wow.
conservative, they're neocons, which means they're not cons.
Or something.
Yeah, they seem
They are
like cons
something.
to me.
Yeah.
Emphasis on cons,
don't know
not
if I would
neo.
I don't know if I would describe this administration as not cons.
Well, not
I like that you called
conservatives.
it an administration.
It's administration.
Ice, get him.
Come and get me. I'm in a city called San Antonio. They're probably here. They're probably listening right now through my
Yeah, they're
window.
gonna show up with the card
monitoring
that's
your
like,
call.
okay, not okay. You're like, oh shit, we can't get him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's Ginger. He's not even on the
I have-
scale.
I'm literally wearing a red and black plaid button down. I'm like a white lumberjack.
Yeah, you just,
Yeah,
the first they
Canadian.
came for
You
the
look like a
Hispanics, now they're coming for
Canadian.
the Irishmen.
Oh shit. They're still gonna send me to Mexico anyway. 'cause
You're
it's
like, look,
closer.
it's a fur trapper. Get him.
Send him to Venezuela.
They're going to send you to Venezuela.
I don't think I would thrive there.
I don't know.
You might. There's a lot of other Germans there.
I'm not very German.
Wow, Kurt's just pulling out all the knives here. Oh Lord!
All right.
All right, Ron, you got our
I think
bets?
that's a great place
what's-
for you
what's
to
Ron's
play us
bet?
out before we
No bet for Ron.
Ron
So-
doesn't need one.
Yeah.
This bet already doesn't
Ron,
make
do
sense.
you
You're
wanna
betting
bet?
on oil futures. Me and Jay Fresh are betting on Russia.
There was a Russia thing in there.
kind of it's kind
sprinkled
of
it
on
in.
brand for the rest of what's happening in the world. Nothing really makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's just try to laugh a little bit as it all crumbles. Fun. What a fun week
Nihilism.
we've had.
Oh yeah.
It's only getting better.